Here they come. They're off far outside. Let her ride left hard. In between horses, Carlene's Rose, and on the inside, Betty Bogart comes through. Let her ride to the top for Andy Miller. Carlene's Rose racing in second, a length back to Betty Bogart. Racing in third, 2 lengths back to Lake Hills Joanne. Right in behind her, entry mate, Lake Hills Alexis. Camistar, then a gap of 5 to Fox Valley Jessica. Sand in My Hair, your 2 trailers, Marengo Eve and Shady Society. They're off the quarter, 27-2. And from the outside, here comes Carlene's Rose for Robbins. Right on her heels, Betty Bogart. Carlene's Rose leads Betty Bogart. Quickly up to challenge. Let her ride. Led early, now back to third. A length and a half back to Lake Hills Joanne. Right in behind her, Lake Hills Alexis. Camistar is off the cones for Art Gregory Jr. Followed up by Fox Valley Jessica. Right in behind her is Sand in My Hair. Marengo Eve advances on the inside along with Shady Society. They're by the half, 56-2. Betty Bogart leads the way, a length and a quarter over Carlene's Rose. On the outside, challenging Lake Hills Joanne. Entry mate, Lake Hills Alexis, following her up. On the inside, racing in fifth, is Let Her Ride. She looks to shake loose. Top of the stretch, Lake Hills Joanne. Now takes command, Betty Bogart. Losing ground second, Lake Hills Alexis. Picks up the chase in third. 3/4, 126-1. 3/16 out. Lake Hills Joanne rolls out to a 3-length advantage. On the far outside, moving up Fox Valley Jessica. Camistar racing in between horses. Lake Hills Alexis, Let Her Ride. Now finds racing room and charging through on the inside. In deep stretch, here's Fox Valley Jessica. Fox Valley Jessica paces on by. Fox Valley Jessica in front. Close for second, Lake Hills Joanne over Let Her Ride in 1:55.
We have the rolling pick threes which start this race. This particular pick three is on races 2, 3, and 4.
Top of the stretch. Approaching the start. They're picking up speed. Here they come. They're off far outside. Silky Flight left well. Also on the move early, Marengo Ace on the inside. Fox Valley Lovebug coming through Wicked Mask. Here's Silky Flight for Joel Smith to the top. A length over Marengo Ace. Fox Valley Lovebug racing in third. A length to Wicked Mask in fourth. A length and a half Charming Henry in fifth. Another length and a half to Fox Valley Arapaho racing in sixth. In seventh around the turn, Swatafly, followed up by Nonstop John, Diamond Lee W, and Lake Hills Pete. They're off the quarter, 28-4. They race up on the backstretch, and Silky Flight leads the way. Here's Fox Valley Lovebug. Fox Valley Lovebug with a rush to take the lead. Now in command of the fraction, Silky Flight yields second. Marengo Ace is third. Wicked Mask is off the rail for John Anderson. Followed up by Fox Valley Arapaho. On the inside, Charming Henry saves ground. Also into the flow, Swatafly. Nonstop John on the inside. Diamond Lee and Lake Hills Pete. They're by the half, 59-3. Into the far turn, Fox Valley Lovebug leads the way a length. Silky Flight right in behind the leader. On the outside, Wicked Mask being rated third. Followed up by Fox Valley Arapaho. Marengo Ace saves ground. On the outside, Swatafly is poised for Dean McGee. On the inside, racing in seventh, Charming Henry. Nonstop John, top of the stretch. Fox Valley Lovebug to 1 to catch. They're all in behind Fox Valley Lovebug. He leads the way for Andy Miller. Silky Flight poised in the pocket. 3/4, 130-1. 3/16 to go. Here comes the onslaught. On the outside, Fox Valley Arapaho further out. Here comes Dean McGee and Swatafly. Swatafly takes command. In between horses, Silky Flight shakes loose. Here he comes. Swatafly leads. Silky Flight a late move on the inside. Swatafly for Dean McGee. He wins both ends of the double. Silky Flight second. Fox Valley Arapaho third. 150.
It's your guy. You got off to a nice start here. $48 double. Let's go to race 3. The first of our trifectas, also a 2.
Top of the stretch, 10 pacers. In behind the starting gate. Picking up speed. Here they come. They're off and pacing on the far outside. Sunnywood left hard in between horses. Stacy's Orphan is there. And now on the rail, Little Mage comes through. Little Mage on a short lead, 3 deep. Under the wire for the first time, here's Sunnywood. Sunnywood on the outside, the long shot, Little Mage. Racing in second, Stacy's Orphan now secures early position in third, a length back to Fox Valley Dakota. Racing in fourth, also away well, was Noteworthy Dude, 2 lengths to Strutting On. A length and a half back to favorite Mohawk, High-Tailed Henry Magic Cam, and Ancient Irish off the quarter, 27-3. They race up the backstretch. And into the 3/8, your leader is Sunnywood by a tight length, Little Mage. Right there in second. Stacy's Orphan is third. Fox Valley Dakota. And now Noteworthy Dude off the cones for McGee. Grinding out a tough first over trip. Following up that live cover is Strutting On. Third over into the flow. Favorite Mohawk. High-Tailed Henry is also on the move on the inside. Ancient Irish and Magic Cam, they're off the half 57-4. Far turn. Sunnywood leads the way. On the inside, Little Mage hangs tough second. Noteworthy Dude being rated in third by McGee. On the outside, Strutting On. Along the inside, Stacy's Orphan looks for room, along with Falcon Dakota. And now from far back and winding up, favorite Mohawk, Dean McGee. They're shooting for the natural turkey. They're in the stretch. And by 3/4, 127-3, Sunnywood opening up the lead. Far outside, here comes favorite Mohawk. In between horses, Strutting On, racing third, now second. Noteworthy Dude has had it. And from the far outside, here comes Magic Can. Sunnywood leads, Strutting On, gains with every stride. Favorite Mohawk, here's Magic Cam. And now favorite Mohawk, Magic Cam is bearing down. Magic Cam on the far outside. Maybe over favored Mohawk, can go either way.
Now this is race 4, $2 exact in the pick.
Here they come. They're off and pacing, getting off just a tad slow was Anti-Rap in the middle. Here comes Stop the Shootin'. Stop the Shootin' quickly to the top, far outside. Swinging Society. Also left well. Park Lane is on the inside. Strutting On lead. Swinging Society up on the rim. Park Lane is right there in third. 3 lengths back to Janine's Fella racing in fourth. Another gap of 3 to Fly With Me in fifth. 2 lengths back to Anxious Debonair. 3 lengths back to Regal Wolf. A length and a half back to Anxious Roscoe. Fox Valley Snake, your trailer, is Anti-Rap off the quarter. A quick 27 seconds. They race up the backstretch. Stop the Shootin' leads the way a length over Park Lane. Swinging Society third. Fly With Me is underway fourth. Now third on the inside. Janine's Fella. Anxious Debonair is off the pylons. Followed up by Art Gregory Jr. and Regal Wolf. Also on the move to the half, Anxious Roscoe, Fox Valley Snake, and Anti-Rap. The second tier takes form. 57-2 for the half. Your new leader, Fly With Me by 2. Over Stop the Shootin'. Park Lane is 3 lengths off the top in third. Anxious Debonair racing up in fourth for Dan Knox. Right in behind him comes Regal Wolf. On the inside, it's Swinging Society. Janine's Fella, Anxious Roscoe. Fox Valley Snake still with about 10 lengths to make up. And Anti-Rap is at the end. They're in the stretch. Fly With Me leads the way by 2. 3/4, 127-1. Inside the quarter pole. Fly With Me leads. Here comes Anxious Debonair. Now 3/16 out. And Anxious Debonair overtakes Fly With Me. Fly With Me. Game on the inside. Hangs tough. For outside, here comes Park Lane for Dave McGee. Further out, Fox Valley Snake from last to first. Here's Fox Valley Snake in deep stretch. Fox Valley Snake takes command and draws off. Park Lane second, close for third, and 156-2.
$12 exacta. Let's get to the 5th race. I think the horse to beat is the horse the public is betting to favor right now, number 7.
Fields in the stretch. Here they come. They're off. 3 horses going off for the lead. Wondering Close, left hard. Say It So. Here's Broadway Locomotion. Say It So on the inside. Broadway Locomotion is on the outside. A length back to Lake Hills Caro. Racing in third. A length and a half back to Noteworthy Wolf. Racing in fourth. 2 lengths back to Try Again. Racing in fifth. And now Say It So wins the battle early on. On the inside, Lake Hills Caro comes through. Broadway Locomotion looks to take a tuck in third. Can't get there. He's on the move again. 27-4. On the inside, Say It So. Here we go again. Broadway Locomotion. These two slug it out. Lake Hills Caro right there in third. Try Again is on the move for Chup. A length and a half back to Noteworthy Wolf. 4 lengths back to Wondering Close. Time for Me to Fly is off the rail and on the move. Tyga right in behind him. On the inside, Silver Wolf. Approaching the half, 56-4. Fast pace. Being prompted by Broadway Locomotion. On the inside, it's Say It So. Your leader, a length and a quarter. On the inside, Lake Hills Caro getting the trip. Broadway Locomotion going a tough trip. On the inside, racing in fourth is Try Again. Here comes Noteworthy Wolf, top of the stretch, Say It So. The embattled leader leads the way, 3 parts of a length. Broadway Locomotion won't go away, still there. 3/4, 127, 3/16 out. Say It So is under pressure. On the outside, here comes Noteworthy Wolf, and now driving from the pocket, Lake Hills Caro. 1/8 of a mile out, Say It So hangs tough. Here's Lake Hills Caro. Lake Hills Caro forging on by. Time for Me to Fly. Picks up the leaders. Far outside, Silver Wolf in deep stretch. Lake Hills Caro wins it. A length. Time for Me to Fly second. Close for show. Noteworthy Wolf in 156-1. Top of the stretch. 9 pacers picking up speed. Here they come. They're off far outside. Sleepin' Sealed used aggressively. On the inside, here's Richard Lomont. And now Richard Lomont comes through. Leads the way under the wire the first time. A length and a quarter. Sleepin' Sealed up on the rim. Plugging up the gap is Baldy Jack. 3 lengths back to Spend a Dollar. Racing in fourth, another gap of 5 to Adios Springfield. A length and a half to Power On. Another length to Happy Colors. 2 back to Aussie Vance, and far, far back is Ships Enterprise. Going off stride by the quarter with Spend a Dollar. Opening quarter, 27-3. Richard Lomont now clears a length and a quarter as things settle down. Sleepin' Sealed takes a tuck in behind second, then a big gap of 10 to Adios Springfield. Racing in third. Baldy Jack is racing wide in fourth. Power On in fifth. A length back to Happy Colors. Racing in sixth. 2 back to Aussie Vance. And far back, both Ships Enterprise and Spend a Dollar. They're off the half. 57. A breather for Richard Lomont. Continues to lead the way. A length and a quarter. Sleepin' Sealed. Adios Springfield a closer third. And now off the rail for Anderson. Followed up by Power On. On the inside, Happy Colors. Top of the stretch, Richard Lomont, the favorite, continues to have his way leads, and now driving from the pocket, Sleepin' Sealed. Down the stretch, 3/16 to go. Your leader is down the stretch, Richard Lomont by 2. On the inside, Adios Springfield racing in second. Far outside, moving up in third, is Rebel Lee. 1/8 of a mile out, Richard Lomont leads. Adios Springfield looks to shake loose. Rebel Lee on the outside is game. Richard Lomont leads. Richard Lomont leads in deep stretch and now draws off to win it. Adios Springfield, Rebel Lee third. The mile 154-2. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off. Be Good firing out for the lead. On the inside, Miller's Slider is underway. Far outside, here's Head Viking and Last Teardrop. On the inside, Miller's Slider on a short lead. And between horses, Head Viking 3 deep into the turn is Last Teardrop. Battle for the lead. Be Good is a length and a half back behind in fourth. Another 3 lengths back to Random Pattern. 2 back to Morgan Mill. On the outside, Vogel. Moving up, Allen Road and Carmine Lobel. They're double-decked by the quarter, 28-1. And now from the outside, Head Viking leads, but right on his heels, Last Teardrop. They race into the 3/8. Last Teardrop takes command for Hostetler on the outside. Random Pattern is on the attack. Head Viking racing in third, a length and a half back to Morgan Mill. Dropping back is Miller's Slider. Vogel has been parked from the word go. Be Good to the inside of him. Carmine Lobel, Allen Road, about 10 lengths off the top, off the half, 56-4. Far turn from the outside, Random Pattern to the top. A length and a quarter, Last Teardrop. Yields in second, Morgan Mill. On the outside, a tough first over trip. On the inside, racing in fourth, Head Viking. And still at the end, the favorite Allen Road as they turn for home. Random Pattern leads the way. Approaching the quarter pole, Random Pattern leads by 2. Last Teardrop is on the move again. 3/4, 126-1, 3/16 out. Random Pattern under attack. Dean McGee urging him on. Going to work on the far outside. Here's Morgan Mill. And now Morgan Mill takes command. Random Pattern on the inside. Miller Slider. Be Good is charging. Morgan Mill leads in deep stretch. Here's Be Good. Be Good nailing him at the wire. Maybe Morgan Mill still there on the inside. 155-1.
That goes basically a track record everywhere he shows up. I think this track record's going as soon as he comes here. You'll be able to see him for the American National Jenna's Beach Boy.
Fields off the turn. Field of 8 take their positions behind the starting gate. Here they come. They're off with Kelly's Chance and Cafe Racer. These two go right for the lead on the inside. Mystic Jate came away well. And now from the outside, Cafe Racer to the top, a length and a quarter over Kelly's Chance. A length back to Mystic Jate, racing in third. 3 lengths back to Take All. Another 4 lengths back to the real Sleepin' Sealed. A length back to Flying Nuke. Radio. Your trailer is Broadway Jazz. They're off the turn and by the quarter, 28-1. Cafe Racer leads the way by 2. Cafe Racer in command of the fractions. A length and a half, Kelly's Chance. Racing in second, Mystic Jade is third. A length back 2. Take All racing in fourth. Sleepin' Sealed is off the cones. Right in behind him, Flying Nuke on the inside. Broadway Jazz comes through. Radio is in the outer flow. Approaching the half, Cafe Racer leads the way by 2. Kelly's Chance getting the trip. They're off the half, 57-3. Cafe Racer leads. Kelly's Chance right there in the pocket on the outside. Take All being rated in third, Mystic Jate. Racing along the inside, fourth. On the outside, Sleepin' Sealed follows up Live Cover. Broadway Jazz advances on the inside. Flying Nuke is stacked up. Radio now drives from last, top of the stretch. Cafe Racer leads the way by 3 with a quarter of a mile to go. Cafe Racer, the one to catch. Here comes Mystic Jate. 3/4, 125-3. And now Mystic Jate, Kelly's Chance takes the lead. It's Kelly's Chance for Bussy. On the outside, here's Mystic Jate. Kelly's Chance digs down deep. Bussy urging him on. Mystic Jate is charging. Mystic Jate leads. A late move, Take All. Here comes Take All. Mystic Jate and Take All. Mystic Jate in front. Take All second. Kelly's Chance third. 153-1. At this time, Sportsman's Park would like to send out a very happy birthday. Fields off the turn as they move into the stretch. Field of 9, all in line. Here they come. They're off. Big League Bandit showing early foot. Mega Dittos is there, and here's Mega Dittos for Harmer. Big League Bandit on the inside, coming away. In third is Rosebrook Willie under the wire for the first time. Mega Dittos leads the way a length. Big League Bandit racing in second, a length back to Rosebrook Willie up on the rim. Here comes Done Got Lucky midway around the turn. Your leader is Mega Dittos. A tight length. On the outside, Done Got Lucky moves up to challenge the leader. They're off the quarter, 28-3. On the outside, here's Done Got Lucky. 45-1 now, forging his way on by. A length over Mega Dittos. Big League Bandit racing in third. A length back to Rosebrook Willie. Broadway Spirit unhurried in fourth. On the outside, following him up is Jean's Prize, Broadway Mariah, Ruffy Guru, and Debonair Society. By the half, 57-1 in Mega Dittos. Retakes command into the far turn. On the outside, here's Broadway Spirit, the 3-year-old. Quickly up to challenge and now take the lead with 3/8 to go. Broadway Spirit to the top. Opens up by 2. Mega Dittos. Racing second, Jean's Prize third. Done Got Lucky racing in fourth. They're in the stretch. Broadway Spirit leads the way by 3.5. By 3/4, 126. 3/16 out. Broadway Spirit in command. Jean's Prize. Broadway Mariah now picks up the leaders. Far outside, Ruffy Guru. An 1/8 to go. Broadway Spirit under a dry. Broadway Mariah is there. Ruffy Guru. Mega Dittos is coming back in deep stretch. Broadway Spirit is tiring. Here's Ruffy Guru. Ruffy Guru flying. Broadway Spirit still there. 154-4. Photo. Cougar, please report to security. Glenn Cougar, please report to security. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off in the Golden Mistake. Ildico showing early speed with a sidestep. Far outside, Ruth's Treasure moves up on the inside. Untamed Heart. Here's Ildico for Art Gregory Jr. up on the outside, sidestep. Quickly to challenge Untamed Heart. And now taking back and dropping in fourth, Ruth's Treasure. A length back to Fair Alice. A length and a half back to Imagine Alley. A length back to Andy Miller and Society Aggie. Another length back to Finale's Philly. Your two trailers, Hap Attack. Real Society off the quarter, 27-3. They race up the backstretch. The favorite, Sidestep, leads the way a length and a quarter. Ildico getting the trip in second. Untamed Heart is third. A length and a half back to Ruth's Treasure. Then a gap of 4 to Fair Alice. On the outside, moving up without cover, Society Aggie. Magan Alley saves ground. To the outside, Finale's Philly. Hap Attack and Real Society. They're by the half, 57 seconds. Sidestep leads the way. A tight length. Ildico is right there in the pocket. Untamed Heart getting a good close-up trip in third. On the outside, trying to advance, Society Aggie. On the inside, it's Ruth's Treasure. Finale's Philly. Fair Alice. Top of the stretch. Sidestep leads the way by 2. Ildico lurking as the main danger. A quarter of a mile out. 3/4, 126-1. Sidestep leads the way. On the outside, here comes Untamed Heart. Ildico racing in third. Society Aggie. Ruth's Treasure now shakes loose. Down the stretch in the Golden Mist. Sidestep is under a drive. Untamed Heart lurking. Sidestep digs down. Percelli Jr. Sidestep in front. Untamed Heart and Ildico third. 154-1.
This is the dollar superfecta. You get to play for a lot of money, so don't go.
Field of 6, approaching the start. Here they come. They're off in the Irvin Paul in the middle of the track. Columbia Nipper going right to the lead. Now off stride, Columbia Nipper. Pilgrim's Fiery And here it's a 3-length advantage over Don't Get In My Way. A length and a half back to In a Blaze. Racing in third. Then a gap of 2 to Falcon Dakota. Another 2 lengths back to Highly Promoted. And far back after the miscue is Columbia Nipper. Midway around the turn, approaching the quarter. Pilgrim's Fiery sets the tone by 2. Opening quarter, 28 seconds. They race up the backstretch. Pilgrim's Fiery leads by 2. Don't Get In My Way. Racing in second, 3 lengths back to In a Blaze. In third, Falcon Dakota. Unhurried in fourth. Highly Promoted will wait for that cover. Then a gap of 6 to Columbia Nipper. They race for the half. Pilgrim's Fiery has felt no pressure. Leads the way a length and a quarter. Don't Get In My Way. Get in the pocket trip. 56-1. 28-1. Second quarter, Pilgrim's Fiery into the far turn by 2. Don't Get In My Way. Racing in second. On the inside, In a Blaze. Racing in third. Falcon Dakota. Looming large for Anderson. He's under urging. Highly Promoted. And far back, Columbia Nipper. They're in the stretch. Pilgrim's Fiery continues to lead by 3 quarters. 124-2. 3/16 out. Pace picks up. Pilgrim's Fiery under a drive. Here's Don't Get In My Way. And now, Don't Get In My Way in mid-stretch. Takes the lead. In a Blaze shakes loose. Far outside. Falcon Dakota. Here comes Highly Promoted. Falcon Dakota to the top. Right in behind him is Highly Promoted. Falcon Dakota wins the Irvin Paul. Close for second. Highly Promoted. And In a Blaze, the mile 152-1.
A little more than 12 minutes to go. $2 exacta and the $1 superfecta. Again, for those of you...
Top of the stretch. Picking up speed. Here they come. They're off far outside. What's for Dessert? Used aggressively early on. What's for Dessert? Leads the way on the inside. Attaboy Bob. Moving away for position is Baby Ransom. Now secures third. What's for Dessert into the first turn. A length and a quarter. Attaboy Bob. Baby Ransom up on the rim as Bill Did It plugs in the gap. A length and a half back to Gallant Gimbal. They're off the turn, approaching the quarter. What's for Dessert leads the way a length and a quarter. Opening quarter, 28-1. They race up the backstretch. It's What's for Dessert by 2. Attaboy Bob racing in second, and now Baby Ransom gets the 3-hole. A length ahead of Bill Did It. 2.5 back to Gallant Gimbal. A gap of 4 to BB Piper. Another gap of 3 to Sabotager. 2 lengths back to the favorite Look Max. He's on the move. Followed up by Hishi. Scooby-Doo Bluegrass. They're off the half. What's for Dessert takes him by that station. 57-1. What's for Dessert leads the way a length over Attaboy Bob. Baby Ransom racing in third. Bill Did It is fourth, and now off the cones. On the outside, Gallant Gimbal moves up. BB Piper on the inside, moving through Sabotager. Far back at this point, Look Max. Top of the stretch, What's for Dessert leads the way, and now driving from the pocket, Attaboy Bob. 3 quarters, 127-2. 3/16 out. What's for Dessert digs down. Dean McGee urging him on. Attaboy Bob now retreats on the inside. Baby Ransom racing in third. Bill Did It moves into contention from far back. Here comes Look Max. A 16th to go. What's for Dessert leads, trying to go all the way. Baby Ransom can't get any closer. What's for Dessert wins it. Baby Ransom close for third between Sabotager and Look Max. 157-1.